Hello, my name is Remi. Today I want to talk about the size at the onset of sexual maturity in female Jasus and roses in New Zealand. And first, why do we need to do this research? That is because this kind of rock lobster is very delicious and expensive. So it costs many commercial fishery at here, so it is important to do something to manage this exotic species. And there is New Zealand, and we determined 27 localities around New Zealand. Our purpose is to describe the size at the onset of sexual maturity (SOM) of female Jasus and roses in New Zealand water using new and published data, and also consider the relationship between SOM and water temperature at different locations. And we have three ways to getting the sample. First is catching sample. This is conducted on both commercial vessel fishing with pots, this one. And second is marking sample. It's carried out in fish proceeding short before the landing will proceed. And the marking sample will not used in the egg-bearing season. That will affect the result because it is illegal to land berries female. And the last one is tagging program. It's conducted on both commercial or research vessel. And the rock lobster being taken by diving. And there's a way to determine sexual maturity. First is the presence of internal eggs, like this one. I can see much egg at the abdomen. And the next one is the presence of well-developed setted on the endophyte of pill pod. This is pill pod, and we can see setting inside the pill pod, and they can catch the egg. And the third is stage in ovarian development. This is ovarian, this one. And when its color trend appear orange and yellow color, that means it is mature. And the last is the presence of spermaceti on the female. This is spermaceti, and its purpose is to receive and store the sperm from the male. And we have two ways to measure the size. First is rostral carapace length, and this from here to here. And another is antennal carapace length. It will include the antennal here. And the rostral carapace length is usually 1 to 2 millimeters less than the antennal carapace length. And we use the tool like this one. And also give another definition that will help us read the data easily. First is size frequency distribution. We're grouped into 5 millimeter size class. And next one, when the size sexual maturity rate achieve 50%, and we determine the size is mature. Like this figure, this 50% is 90 millimeters. So if at here the rock lobster is larger than 90 millimeters, we say that are all mature. And that's our resource. That's our area. And sample date, and this one is how much sample we get, and the temperature. We have surface temperature and bottom temperature, and wet side and east side. And our data are collected from 1960 to 1979. But some data we collect from other papers like these three are all collected from other papers. And statistics mentioned above can be graphed by authors as following. X-axis carapace length in millimeter, and y-axis is frequency. And we can see as the size grows and the frequency will also increase. But there are some exceptions, like area flea. This size is bigger than the smallest mature size at here, but its frequency is not achieved 50%. So we don't have enough data to say that to determine this size sexual maturity. And the other is area 5. The percentage measured in the large size class steadily decreased. But the scientists gave the explanation that is because migration. A lot of rock lobster migrate from the vocal strait to the floating coast, from here to here. And thus caused the increase of commercial catch of rock lobster across along the floating coast in November to January. And our data by sampling date is February to March. So there may be a reason for the irregulation in the data. And the other location we can read the sexual maturity size easily, like area 10. The sexual maturity size is 110 to 150, and the area 11 is 105 to 110, like this one. And so we can know the variation in the sexual maturity size with the time, like this. These three areas, 5 to 7, they are all afro-land. As we get the simple data different, and we get the similar results. So we can say as the flow-land, the sexual maturity size is about 85 millimeter. And the next one is the variation in the location. The smallest on the east coast of Northern is 72 millimeter. At here, even less, there is 85 to 89. And the largest in the area of Strait to Swally Island and the Ontario coast is 191 millimeters at here. And at this strait, their size all above 100 millimeters. And next one, we add the water temperature to the result. We can see if the water is hotter and the rock lobster live in, and they will achieve at the size of onset maturity in the smaller size. So our discussion, there is the inverse relationship between SOM and water temperature. And if the high water temperature is favorable for growth in length and ovarian development, so that the lobster mature at the smaller size and earlier age, and also indicate that SOM is reached at different age in different areas. Also implication for fishermen, like Tunisia area, number 26. Here, and that is SOM is a change at 72 millimeter at the age about 3 to 5 years, but the minimum legal size is reached at the age of 9. So majority of the female will have 4 to 6 breeding seasons, but there are also have some counter expansion. Like this, a tackle and southland fisher. The minimum legal size is less than the sexual maturity size. Female in the chargo need more than 7 years to grow from the minimum legal size to sexual maturity size. Also, we have done so many research. Our understanding of this kind of rock lobster is still limited. So the government at New Zealand, you don't want to change their policy about the limit of this kind of legal size. Thanks.
Do lobsters have a tendency to live in cooler water?
Do lobster what?
Do lobsters have a tendency to live in cooler water?
A
Tendency.
Tendency with what?
Tendency means they like to.
Oh, yeah.
Repeat question.
Does tendency doctor like? Does doctor?
Repeat.
Do lobsters like to live in cooler water?
Live in cooler water. Oh, they don't like to live in a cooler water. Because they need the temperature about 10 to 16. If it is too cold, they will migrate to the warm water.
What do you think will happen to lobster if the artificial capture didn't become less? Don't become less.
Repeat your question.
What do you think will happen to lobster in the future if the artificial capture don't become less?
Repeat.
What do I think if the what?
Capture.
Capture.
Yeah, artificial capture is means fishery.
Yeah.
Repeat this question.
What do I think if the capture
Of lobster in the future.
Of larger in the future. Because their policy is if the female will have eggs and their cities, they can catch them. So at the New Zealand, they still have enough lobster can be eaten.
I would like to know, since the lobster take more time to get mature, why not the government changes the minimum legal size of those lobsters?
Why does the government don't change the legal size last year
Of the lobster.
of lobster?
Repeat your question again.
Why does the government don't change the legal size of this lobster? Oh. That is because they still have much lobster. They don't have to face this problem now.
So they don't get extinct, right?
They don't have, yes.
Since this article has been investigated, is the distribution related to density?
Repeat your question.
Since this article has been investigated, is the distribution related to latitude?
Related to what?
Related to
Latitude.
Latitude. Latitude means latitude.
Oh,
Repeat this question.
what?
Is their distribution related to latitude?
Is the distribution related to latitude? Sorry, I don't know.
You don't know the word latitude, or you don't know
I
his
don't
question?
know the reason.
You don't know the reason? What is his question first? What is
his question? Is I want to know. The distribution.
Repeat your question again.
Is lobster distribution? Is lobster located related relative to latitude?
As the rostral distribution relative to the latitude. So I don't know, no mention in this paper.
Remi, I think she had a very nice, well-prepared talk, because whenever I think she should explain that term. For example, you see that there's a lot of biological terms which are really difficult for me. Some are probably not, but I would like to see photos. Whenever I think she should add a photo, then she show a photo. So which is really very clear to me. That was very nice. And also the method part, how the scientists did their research, was also very nicely explained without too much detail. But I think there's a pronunciation issue. Did you read mature, or how do you read that? Nature. That's weird. Okay, so we usually read mature. Okay, so but there are some places which I think you can add a little bit more artwork to improve the way. For example, here you were talking about how they measure the length, and then you were like using your pointer to point out, okay, they measure from here to there. But if I miss your pointer, I wouldn't know that. So what would be easy to do is you can simply add a few your own artwork, like PowerPoint offer a lot of tools like this. You can just add a red line and say, hey, they measure this part, then it's very clear. So use that to show which body parts did they measure. Use your own artwork. And the same also applies to the map. I noticed that when you were presenting the map, that was actually very interesting. Like you add this photo and say they migrate from here to there. That was very nice. However, from time to time, you try to link your data to the location, and then you were, I know you must be familiar with your slide, but sometimes you were also like looking around. So what can be improved is you just add a mark here. Say it's that spot, specific spot. Then it will be also very clear to me, because I was standing there, and if I miss your pointer, I wouldn't be able to know where you were talking about. Then what can be improved? So the first thing is I mentioned probably not that frequent in this class, because many students in this class already avoid doing that. Please don't give us a big table like that. You have two choices or two options. First, you make your own table and simplify the information. You see, there was a lot of information in this table, and you don't need all of them. However, when you show all of them, it's distracting. We don't know which place to look at, and the font was really small. I couldn't read any of this sitting there. So first, you extract the information you want to present and make your own table. Or even better is you make it into your own plot using Excel. Here they also already give you the raw data. You can make plots using your own creativity to make it into plots, because plots are more welcome than table. Okay, and then I also suggest that here, because you have a lot of space here and there, I would suggest that you can always add a map next to the place. And then you can follow the way Charles presented. So I know you have a lot of spots here. And what Charles did, he used some color codes to say, okay, maybe 10 is red, or red dots, and you can just put the red dots on the map. So these kind of color coding are easier for cross-referencing. Okay. And then I know that in your results you introduced the figures, the axis, but it didn't happen when you were talking about this important information. So please always remember to introduce your figures. All right. So, But I think the discussion was also nice, well prepared. And I also like the way you talk about, I think it's in the paper, but it's also very nice that you talk about the implication, the practical parts of this study. So we know that this study has some practical uses in real world. So overall, I think it's nicely prepared and hope to see improvement next time. Thank you, Remi.